Bum, bum, bum. All right. Are we live? Okay, everything looks good. So today is going to be my first attempt at streaming in 1440p. So hopefully the quality should be a lot better, as I got a new internet provider which has, I think, 5 times or 6 times as fast of a speed for upload. So I figured, why not? Let's just try it in high quality. And let's get started. Okay, so welcome to the 34th bi-weekly Ask Me Anything live stream. And if you missed the live streaming portion of this, my schedule has been pretty consistent, usually twice a month, every Saturday or every other Saturday at around 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So this gives me a chance to connect with you guys, sort of talk about some things that are going on in my life, what I'm working on. And also it gives you an avenue to connect with me in a live setting where if you ever want to ask any questions. And it's sort of this thing that I want my community to have, that accessibility to me, because it's something that I've always wanted as a viewer. Like whenever I follow any of my favorite YouTubers, I always wish they live streamed and that I would give me a chance to maybe talk to them or ask them some personal questions that you can't really get out of the comment section from a YouTube video. And so I was always like, you know what, if this is something that I wanted from other creators, then why don't I do it myself? And it ended up being a lot of fun. As you can see, we're on number 34. So thanks for stopping by, for watching the replay of this. Leave a comment below, hit the like button, all that stuff really helps, and subscribe if you would like to see more in the future. Now, in terms of content for today, I actually have nothing planned. Normally I was going to have a stream next weekend, but I'm going to be away, so I figured to do one this week as I had one last week. And so I noticed that because of my new internet, I might be able to stream at 1440p. And so I figured, let's just try that, because for anyone that doesn't know, for YouTube videos, if you upload in anything under 1440p, YouTube assigns this codec. I believe it's called AVC, which determines kind of like the quality of the video you see. And anything 2K, which is 1440p or above, you get this VP09 codec, I believe. And that's why if you see on my normal YouTube videos, I record, film, and post everything in 4K so that it gives the maximum amount quality possible. And I noticed that my live streams in the past were getting like that lesser codec, and so I decided to change that. So my stream is live. Whoops. Or above. Let me mute that. I don't want to listen to myself. So if you right click on the video and you go stats for nerds. Okay, yeah, see codec VP09. Okay, so it is working. So that's just a pro tip for anyone that is making YouTube videos in the future. If you want to start your own channel, and like, I think 1080p is basically the baseline quality for YouTube nowadays. Like you can get away with 720p, fine, as long as the audio is good. But if you want like really to show the quality of your videography or cinematography, or maybe there's like some type of shots or edits that you made in your video that you're proud of and you really want to show off that quality, then you need to upload in at least 1440p to get the maximum quality possible out of YouTube videos. And I think if you are monetized and have a certain number of views, you automatically get that VP09 codec. But if you're a lot smaller channel like mine, or you're just starting out, then I highly recommend just uploading everything in 1440p. And the way you do that is, even if you record in 1080, just like rescale the image and then make it bigger and export your settings under 1440p when you render your video. And the way that YouTube, I don't know what's a term, YouTube sort of applies their own compression to your videos when you upload them. So even though it's 1080 and you're stretching it to 1440, usually you can't really tell. So I highly recommend doing that for anyone that's starting their channel off. It's just good too, especially if you're like me, who's really into videography, and going out and getting all these really nice cinematic shots and drone shots and maybe some tracking shots with the gimbal. Like if you're really into the whole visual experience of cinematography, then you want to show that, right? So in the beginning, it was something that I was kind of searching for, right? How to get the best quality out of my videos possible. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, this is how YouTube has it set up. And so hopefully moving forward, these streams will be of a lot better quality. So yeah, other than all that boring talk, so hopefully some people will show up today and we'll get into some core self-improvement ideas or questions that we can kind of deep dive into. Like this is a fun part for me, is even just brainstorming ideas that's in my mind and sort of just getting them out there. It helps me with the way I think about things and the way I think about concepts. And I've said this before, but you can think your thoughts all day long, but it's not until you speak them out into the world or write them on a piece of paper that they become tangible, that they become real, and then you can really learn from them. And this is what I use streaming as sort of like my intellectual battleground, where it lets me just explore thoughts and ideas that I have and then just like put them out there. And then I like to listen to the feedback that I get from you guys, and maybe I'm thinking incorrectly about one topic or another. Maybe someone else has a perspective that could sway my position on a topic or idea, and then I learn from that, right? And so I think it's very, very important as someone in the self-improvement world, to be honest with yourself and constantly looking to improve, right? Like the one thing that I fear is staying stagnant. It's not growing. If you're just stagnant and you're just settling for what you have, then you're never going to get better, right? And that's something that I strive for, is to always improve, and always to get better and reach for the next goal, and then just go from there. And it's funny because the achievement isn't what has provided me happiness. It's the journey, and it seems kind of cliche to say that, but it's one that is true. Like whenever I look back at anything that I've done in my life, it's always the journey up until that point is the enjoyment, right? It's seeing the improvement in whatever skill that you're going after or whatever you're doing with your time, right? And more often than not, once you achieve your goal and you reach the mountaintop, it's not like all those feelings of fulfillment like rush into you. It's not like getting that high paying job or getting that big paycheck or finally mastering that game that you were playing. Like usually you don't get that rush of happiness at the end. It's like a gradual build along in the journey. And so that's one that I really noticed, like when I was playing video games, like when I was younger, I really noticed this when I would be playing a game and I'd be having so much fun, like leveling up my character, going through like the story of whatever game I'm playing. And then eventually you get to like the final boss and you beat the game. And then like the happiness is kind of gone, and then you're left with what's next. And so that simple idea I've sort of tried to apply to my life, and to enjoy the journey, right? Trust the process, especially with like this content creation stuff, right? Because this is something that I love to do. And so it can be hard at times, but just being thankful for things like today, like having the stream, being able to create videos on ideas that I love, it's important to me, and it's valuable. So yeah, so that's sort of like my core belief system when it comes to my whole identity with this type of stuff. The self-improvement world, unfortunately, is one that is rather misguided and sort of scammy at times. That's the one thing I don't like about, I guess you would call it maybe self-help. Like, there's many genres and subtopics in the self-improvement, self-help world, right? And there's all these like gurus and life coaches and that have all this advice. But unfortunately, it's like a lot of these people, they haven't really achieved anything. And then they're sort of just telling you how to live your life, and they're sort of telling you what to do, and that they have all the answers and you should buy their product or buy their book and buy their course without any proof of their accomplishments. And so that's why the self-improvement world gets this like kind of like scammy appearance on the outside. It's kind of cringy at times, right? And I'm trying to break that narrative, right? I'm like, right now, the YouTube channel, everything is free, right? Like, I'm not selling you a course, even though I know a lot of you have asked me to make one. Like, I'm not selling you a course right now. I'm not selling you a book right now. I'm not selling you a podcast. Like, and none of that. All of my stuff is free. And it's because I want to build up my, I guess, accomplishments, or build up my body of work throughout the years by releasing all of my information for free, right? Everything is going to be free. And that's when you know that a certain creator in the self-improvement world or the self-help world is legitimate, right? You can see my body of work from 2019, from 2020, from 2021, and now to today, right? All this stuff, there is no barriers to entry. There are no paywalls, right? Or any subscription services that you have to adhere to in order to get the content that I'm producing. Like, there's none of that, right? And this is something that's important to me. Of course, one day, will there be a course? Yeah, of course. Sure, there will. One day, will there be a book? Yeah, right? So, but those things will come later on. And I feel like most people get it backwards, right? It's like they start the self-improvement journey or the channel or the business, and the first thing they think of is money, profit, business, the course, the book, and they want to do that first. From a business point of view, is smart, right? It's like a good business strategy to use and utilize for your channel or your brand or whatever you're trying to build. But I want to do it like the other way around. I want to build a reputation first. I want to build a body of work, right? And then have the products later on. And I've been hinting at it from time to time. I don't know if you guys have watched any of the previous streams, but I've talked about the chapters that I've been writing in my book, and it's slowly getting there. Someone's crying upstairs. But the problem is sort of like managing my time. I think that's the biggest challenge for me, because I still care a lot about the channel and the live stream and the podcast, and and releasing good content, right? Releasing high quality content on the channel. That's like my number one priority. And then whenever I have any time left over, then I put it towards the book or the newsletter or the course that I'm slowly working on. And like today, for example, I woke up early today and I was in like a writing mood. Like, I was just in the mood to write. And so I released a newsletter this morning. For anyone that doesn't know, I have a newsletter that I release every month. You can find it, if you just go to my website, derekbearsey.com, there's a section titled newsletter where you can sign up with your email. It's all free. And if you want to read the past newsletters that I've sent out on the website, I have them all listed. And so it's sort of just, it's a way that I kind of use the newsletter as like a brain dump, and it's sort of like a container for the ideas that aren't worthy enough for a video, right? So say I have some like abstract thoughts or ideas that I've been thinking about recently, and they're not compelling enough to tell a story, or they're not worthy enough to create an actual video on, then I sort of just brain dump them into my newsletter and just kind of talk about them there. As maybe some of the concepts are still valuable or important, right? So I still think it's worthy to put them out there. But again, probably not enough substance in them for a full video. And so that's why I've kind of released them there. But also, like, the newsletter is nice because it gives me a way to connect with you guys directly that's not reliant on these social media platforms. And this is something that unfortunately I have to fear or be wary of, is that, these social media platforms, they're not immortal, right? They could go away at any moment of time or day, right? Like, even though I'm extremely bullish on YouTube, I feel like YouTube is like this unstoppable force when it comes to video. As they're like the one dominating platform there is on the internet. But that doesn't mean something better won't come out in the future. Like, you never know, right? It's kind of like how there was MySpace, right? And everyone had like a MySpace account. Oh, this is probably going to be the best thing ever, and what's going to beat MySpace? But then Facebook comes out and just like completely destroys it. Like, I don't know anyone anymore that even uses MySpace. And the same thing with like Vine, right? Vine came out with these like short video clips. Oh, this is like awesome. This is amazing. Then bam, like TikTok comes out and destroys it. And then you also had like Snapchat. Snapchat was like super cool, right? You send these like snaps to your friends with all these filters. And then, Instagram copies it, and then bam, like I don't know anyone that uses Snapchat anymore. So being cognizant and being aware that sometimes change is inevitable regardless of what niche you're in. And you need to be very careful of this and plan for the future. And this is why I always tell people to diversify. Diversify whatever you're doing. Diversify your skill set, diversify your line of work, diversify your money, your investments, your portfolio. It's just a smart, intelligent decision to make across all facets of life. I think is diversification is so important. And it's just kind of like common sense, right? Because you never want to have all your eggs in one basket, right? If you want to have all your net worth in one investment or one company or one stock. Like, what if it goes belly up? What if they go broke? Then you lose all your money. And I learned this idea, it's a very simple idea, but it really stuck in my mind when I heard it from Nassim Taleb, who is probably one of my favorite authors. He wrote, what's his best books that he's wrote? He wrote Skin in the Game, The Black Swan, I think. He's wrote a bunch of books. Super brilliant guy. Very difficult to read some of his writings. He uses kind of language, in my opinion, that's overly complicated, when he could write his sentences in a lot more simplified manner, and we would get the point. But he sort of has this, like, I don't know, bravado or ego when it comes to his writing, and it feels like he's too intelligent, I guess you would say, or he has a vocabulary that's too large. And so I sort of struggle, to be perfectly honest, with reading his books. Like, there's times where I read a sentence and I go, like, what is this word? I don't even know what this means. I have to like go to a dictionary and look up a word that he's written in a sentence just to understand the context of what he's talking about. However, he has this very like awesome idea when it comes to diversification, is that you want to take risk but be adverse to ruin. So like, you want to take risks in the sense, like, you want to, I don't know, say you want to invest your money in a fund or a portfolio or a stock or crypto or whatever. Like, whatever you do, it's fine to take risk as long as one decision doesn't cause you ruin, right? And I take this advice to my life as well, right? Like my day job, for example, like I'm a courier, right? Say that goes away, say the company that I work for goes away, and one day we mass produce robots that do all the delivering and all the pickups worldwide, and couriers become obsolete. So now I have a skill set and a profession that's obsolete and useless. But I've diversified my knowledge and skill set across, the skills that I have as a person, to where I can also work as a video editor, right? I can also work as a videographer. I can also work as a writer or a public speaker. Like I've developed these other skills on the side to diversify my portfolio as a human being, right? And so if one of my careers or jobs goes away in the future, I have other skills that I can fall back on, which is important for me, right? So, and again, it's avoiding ruin. You want to set up contingency plans so that one catastrophic event in the world doesn't destroy your life. Like say for example, right now, like look at Eastern Canada and Florida. There's like horrible weather, there's like hurricanes or tropical storms or like whatever. Like what if your entire net worth like was in your house? You had no savings, you had no investments, you had no retirement fund, like you had nothing. Like say the only asset you had in your entire life was, I guess, like your house or your car or something. Like imagine if all of your life's work, all of your life savings was like in these one or two possessions, and then it gets destroyed by a hurricane. Now you're subject to ruin, right? Because you haven't diversified your life. You haven't diversified your portfolio. You don't have other avenues that you can go to, right? And I'm not trying to talk down on these people or disparage them, but this is what Nassim Taleb's advice is. Like avoid ruin at all costs. You have to avoid ruin at all costs. And the way you do this is by taking risks, but taking diversified risks, right? And giving yourself a chance to come back. And it's basically just staying in the game, right? Staying in the game of life. Like you want to stay in the game of life as long as possible. And you want to avoid those decisions that can destroy everything. Like, and a big example of that is like drug addiction is one. Like alcoholism or getting addicted to opioids or amphetamines, like really like, like the hardcore, like really addictive drugs that can destroy your life. Like that's a terrible, terrible decision to make because again, it makes you vulnerable to ruin and you can lose everything. Like I've seen people that unfortunately like got addicted to painkillers, pain meds or opioids or whatever you want to call it. And then all of a sudden they lose all their friends, right? They lose their job, they lose their family, and all they're left with is their addiction. And then that's like really sad, right? And so again, you need to be very aware in your life, like what are the decisions that can cause ruin in your life? And these are the ones that I try to avoid at all costs. And it's ones that I think about a lot too, right? I think it's very important, right? It's not just like financially, but even just for your happiness, like as a human being. I feel like it's important to do and try new things, right? Like I know like some people, they get extremely obsessive with one thing in their life and that's all they want to do. But it's also good to have other hobbies as well. Like I obviously love streaming and podcasting and making videos and all this kind of social media content creation stuff, but I also love to play basketball, right? Love to play sports, love to go exercise, I love to lift weights. So there's other things in my life where if this were to be taken away one day, right? Like say if social media doesn't exist in the future, I still have other hobbies in my life that I love, that I genuinely have a passion for. And I wish I even had more time to play basketball. Like basketball was one of like my first loves as like a sport or a pastime. I love to play basketball. Like even in Canada, I'd play in the winter, like outside. Like I remember I'd play like with gloves because my fingertips were getting frostbite from just playing on a frozen court, just shooting free throws. Like that's how much I loved it. And as I got older, I kind of had less and less time, to put into basketball, but like that love and that passion is still there, right? And so like again, if something were to happen in the near distant future where social media becomes obsolete or extinct or doesn't exist anymore, I have other things I can do. And I think that's important, right? I think that's very important to have in your life. It's also good to just sort of live like a balanced life. Like I'm sure that making YouTube videos and editing videos all day long, sitting in front of a computer, like in like my basement, like that's not healthy, right? Like I'm not getting any sun. Like as you can see right here, the window is blocked by like some cardboard because I don't have curtains yet. It's like again, it's like having balance in your life, right? Having hobbies outside of your obsession, diversifying your life. It's very, very important for your overall wellness and happiness and well-being. I think that's very, very important. That I don't know if we're lacking this idea, but it seems like more and more nowadays everyone's sort of teaching you to hyper focus and niche down and pick like one specific thing in your life and put in your 10,000 hours and achieve mastery and stay in that one niche and don't venture off and try new things. They everyone is like obsessed with excellence in like one specific niche skill, topic, or category. And fine, if we're talking about like a business sense, that's probably great advice, right? But from like a life standpoint, like is that the best decision for you? Is that a healthy decision to make? Like I don't know, I'm not sure. I think about that a lot. Like if I put more time, energy, and effort into all this like videography stuff, right? Like will that make me a better content creator? If I got rid of all my pastimes and just focus on like this one thing, sure, it definitely would make me better as a content creator. But is that like a healthier way to live? Would it make me happy? Because those are the other questions that you have to answer that I think are important to think about. And even to just consider, right? Like I feel like it's very important to just consider these things as there's no like one solution or one size fits all way to live your life, right? And I know that unfortunately in the world this is what people want, right? People want like answers. They want the TLDR, right? They want the quick video. They want the life hacks or the secrets or the tips and tricks, to get by. Like that's what everyone wants, right? No one wants, the convoluted, nuanced answer of like, it depends, right? There's many factors in life. And, I sort of been like thinking about this more and more. And, I always wonder, like, is there enough balance in my life? Do I spend enough time doing other things? Right? It makes me wonder. And I think it's just a good question that I like to pose to myself because you never know, right? You never know what the future could bring. And especially now when I watch the news and I see what's happening in like Florida, for example, like the flooding they have, and people just like losing their homes and communities being destroyed, and yeah, it's tough, right? And even like what else is going on? Like the Ukraine thing is still happening. Like there's so much chaos. There's just so much chaos in the world, and I just see ruin everywhere. Right? Like ruin it's all around us. And I'm trying to like tiptoe through this life and avoiding it at all costs. And it's not easy, right? It's never going to be easy. And that's what's so interesting about life is that like it doesn't matter who you are or where you live or what worked for you or what didn't work for you. Everyone's path is different, right? Even these experiences that I go through, and even though I like to talk about them a lot, and share my experiences, share what worked for me, share what didn't, share what I learned, share what messed me up, like share what I struggled with. Hopefully someone can learn from that, but also at the same time, you got to be aware too that like what worked for me won't necessarily work for you and vice versa. Because life is so messy and unpredictable, right? We all have such vastly different circumstances that it's hard at the end of the day. It's hard to make the right decision all the time. I wish I made the right decision all the time in my life and all the things that I've done. Right? It's tough. but you can't let that consume you at the end of the day. And you also want to spend your time, looking forward and use that time to make better decisions in the future instead of like getting stuck only thinking about your past mistakes. And that's sort of like a reminder I tell myself a lot is, to just keep looking forward, keep pushing to the future, keep going, right? Don't get stuck up on yesterday's mistakes when you could have a better future for tomorrow. It's like a tough reminder because it's so easy for us as human beings to get stuck in the negative, right? Because it's appealing, right? To be comfortable and complain about what we don't have and see what others have and, think that life isn't fair, and how come this person has this and you don't have that? It's like a big trap. So it's a huge, huge trap. But it's something that I think is important, I take it very seriously because I fall into these traps as well, right? Like even all these ideas that, that I talk about, like trying to have purpose, trying to live a fulfilled life, trying to be happy, trying to preach gratitude, to be thankful. There's still days that I have where I wake up and I hate the world, You wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you're just pissed off, you're just in a mood, you're just so sick and tired of everything and you're exhausted. Everyone has days like that. I'm not immune to that either. Even though I put on this sort of face, this mask, if you will, of someone who is extremely happy and content, but I have problems just like everyone else, right? I have those days too. I have those days where I just don't feel like working out. I just don't want to go to the gym. I just don't want to pick up those weights. Like I dread it. Don't want to put on the shoes or, get the bench and the dumbbells and the resistance band. Like I don't want to do any of that stuff. There's some days I just have no interest. It's just not for me. But then other days, like I love it. Like, I can't wait to hit a workout. Like, I know what that feeling feels like after. You just feel so good. You get a sense of accomplishment. Your body gets that like recharge. And it's important, right? It's an important thing to remind yourself that, not all days will be good. There will be many bad days. But it's like how you react to those bad days. What will really push you forward, right? Don't get stuck in the mud. Because you had a bad week, don't waste this week thinking about last. Right? Use that time, what can you do differently? What can you do better? What decisions can you make this week to make next week better? And sort of like improve, right? And slowly work on it. And it's sort of like, this is advice that's way easier said than done. Right? It seems overly simplistic. And most people would be like, well, duh, obviously. Right? Obviously, you shouldn't waste any time brooding on, what happened in the past because you can't change any of that. But putting the time and effort into the present, to just focus on what you can improve on in the moment, that's what's difficult, right? And so, yeah, I have bad days too, I have some of those days where kind of things just don't work out, or even like on YouTube, there's some days where I just don't feel like making any videos. I don't feel like recording anything. I don't feel like writing. I have those days, right, where you're just sort of like down in the dumps, and you like question why you're doing any of this in the first place. And this is what's like tough about YouTube is like the analytical game with all this kind of stuff. Like when I look back and I see it's been over 3 years. It's been 3 years now of like consistently posting videos every month. Like on a consistent basis, 2, 3, 4 videos every single month for 3 years since 2019, June 2019, I believe. And now we're in October 2022. So over 3 years, posting consistently, getting better, improving, and then going into your analytics tab and seeing that you're not that much better than you were last year or the year before. That's when it gets really frustrating, right? And I think this is why a lot of YouTubers quit. In all honesty, like I'm sure you guys have seen many YouTubers in the past, or maybe you stumbled across their channel or you saw one of their videos and you really enjoyed their content, you subscribe, and it's like, oh, this is like an awesome content creator. It's like something super cool they were talking about and it really intrigued you. But then a couple months go by where they, instead of posting every week, maybe it's once every 2 weeks, and then it becomes once a month, and then once every 2 months, and all of a sudden they haven't posted a video in like 6 months or a year, and now their channel's dead. And I think it's that reward, that time to reward ratio you get from YouTube, where you have to put in a tremendous amount of work into your channel, whether it's thinking about titles, thumbnails, the content, what are you going to talk about? What are your main points? Is anyone going to watch a video? Then actually filming it, editing it, writing a description, making a playlist, keywords, like hashtags. There's so much stuff that goes into a YouTube video, right? And unfortunately, a lot of creators, they put like tons of time, energy, and effort into the videos. And then maybe your goal is to get part of the YouTube partner program and get monetized, and maybe one day you get it. And then you start making like 25 cents, 50 cents, $1 for like 40, 50, 60 hours of work in a week to produce a bunch of videos. And then in the back of your mind, you start to question yourself and you think, like, is it worth it? Is it worth spending all this time, energy, and effort on something that yields such little results and such little reward? And I feel like that's like a huge common problem that tons of YouTubers have. Hey, Batiste. What's going on, brother? I've just been kind of rambling to myself for half an hour. Glad to see you. Sorry, just saying hello and I must go. My sister is in town. I have something to tell you. A huge decision I've made. I will explain it to you on Instagram. Take care, you're a king. I will watch a replay for sure. Hey, Batiste. Thanks for coming by and saying hello. Enjoy the time with your sister for sure. Go have dinner or something. We'll catch up on Instagram. Oh, huge decision. I'm excited. Yeah, take care, bro. Good talking to you. See, this is why stuff like this is why I love this stream. I can't remember the first time that I connected with Batiste, like many streams ago, but just randomly came into one of the streams. Like as a YouTube creator, you have no idea who's watching your videos, right? Like you can go to the analytics tab, and it can tell you like the general age your viewers are, or what country they live in, or like what time they watch your videos. Like you can see that type of stuff in the analytics and the demographics, but you don't really know who these people are. Like sometimes when people subscribe, it will show you what their actual account name is, but I think you have to enable it from their side. So more often than not, like I don't know, like 90% plus of your subscribers that subscribe to you, you have no idea who they are. And Batiste was someone that I never knew who he was, right? And then all of a sudden, he came in one day, we started talking, said he was from France, and you build like a friendship and a connection, and it's someone that whenever I see his name, a smile like appears on my face, that, and I have that like brightness inside me light up, like, oh, Batiste, my buddy from France, that we met through this channel, through this stream, and stuff like that is awesome. It makes me so happy, and it's so cool just catching up. Facing Fears, what's up, dude? What's going on? I know what you're talking about, investing time into YouTube or really anything else. How did you go about it to change and just commit to it in the end? Yeah, it's if you want me me to be perfectly honest, this is something that I've questioned myself many, many times. Like in the beginning, when I started this YouTube channel, I was putting in like over 40 hours a week into videos, like over 40 hours a week. And I was getting like 10 views per day and making $0. So think about that, like 40 hours a week for 70 views for the week to make $0. Like, in order to make a decision like that, you have to be a crazy person, right? If you view it from a business standpoint, right? If you view it from a business standpoint, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you do that? That's like such a stupid waste of your time. But from a personal standpoint, if you are enjoying what you do, if it's fun, right? If recording the videos, talking to the camera, editing the videos, if all that stuff is enjoyable to you, then it's not really work anymore. It's play. So then you shouldn't view it as a business anymore. And that was the conclusion that I came to. I was like, you know what? I love this stuff. This is fun, right? I love cameras. I love gear. I love lenses. I love lights. I love microphones. I love learning about all this type of stuff. I love editing in Adobe, getting better on how to use Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, making thumbnails in Adobe Photoshop. Like these are all things that I love. Like they're fun for me. Where other people are like, oh, I got to edit this video. It's gonna take all weekend, and then they just think of it in a negative light. Whereas for me, this was always something that was enjoyable. Or maybe if you had, let's say, 5 hours on a Saturday night to do something, you could go party with your friends. You could go watch a football game. You can go play some video games. But for me, if I had those 5 hours, I would want to edit a video. I'd want to learn how to do a new transition in After Effects, or learn how to color grade or something like that. Like that's what I wanted to do with my spare time. And so when I made that clear distinction from YouTube is something that was fun and it wasn't work, that's when the analytical stuff, I could get over it, right? Because even right now, 3 years in, I make like $1 or $2 a day. Like I eventually got into the YouTube partner program, with the Google AdSense. But like, those ads that play in the videos, like before and the middle, you make like hardly anything. You get like pennies, right? And, I make like maybe $1.50 every day. So at the end of the month, it's like what, $40, $45. And like, again, if you're viewing it through the lens of a business, putting all this time, energy, and effort for weeks to make $40 a month, it's not worth it. But from my point of view, this is enjoyment, right? This is fun. It's what I love to do. So it's a lot easier for me to overcome those doubts that you have with the amount of time that you put into something, right? It's sort of like sports is a good analogy here. Like say if you're someone that loves basketball, right? You can go to the park for a couple hours, play a game of pickup, maybe practice your jumper, shoot around for a couple hours after the game. But you're never going to make it to the NBA, right? Deep down, like you're not in that 1% of 1% of 1% of athletes that will like make one of the 500 jobs in the NBA. Like you're not going to make it to the NBA. And yet you're willing to spend a tremendous amount of time, energy, and effort playing basketball, going to the court, right? And it's because it's fun. You're enjoying it. You're voluntarily doing it. It's not like you don't see it in the lens of a business. And I feel like far too many YouTubers, they get caught up in the business side. They see like all these YouTubers making big money, and guys like Logan Paul and Andrew Tate, for example, like driving a Bugatti, and all these like super famous YouTube people like balling out of control, making all this money. And I feel like that's what the allure is to young people. They see the success, they see the money, the potential of what YouTube can bring in. That's why they do it, instead of doing it for the love of doing it. And that is why I believe so many YouTubers come and go, right? Like even when I started this channel in 2019, there's a bunch of channels I subscribe to. I guess you could say we're starting off right around the same time as me. And what we would do is we would subscribe to each other, comment on each other's videos. And there's like this, I was part of this like small supportive community, where there's like, maybe like 10, 15 of us, all supporting each other's work. And then slowly but surely over time, all of those people stopped creating. And a couple of them, I've had them on my podcast and I've talked to them. And a lot of their channels are dead. They haven't posted a video in a year or 2 years. Right? And I think that's what happened. Right? They were doing YouTube videos for all the wrong reasons. And so I think if you really want to be successful on YouTube, you have to make videos about something that you love to do, that you just love it. And you have to have zero expectations for growth. And I think that's the best way to just stay in the game. And I know that there's people that are like, oh, I want to make a YouTube channel about investments, for example, or money or finance, because there's a lot of money in the finance niche. So I've seen creators talk about like their AdSense from like personal finance videos, and the amount of money they make through ads is like insane, because finance pays so much money, right? Because there's money in money. And so I know a lot of people that are like, oh, I want to make a personal finance YouTube channel because they know the revenue that it can generate. But then I'm like, well, do you love personal finance? Like, do you follow the stock market on a daily basis? Are you always investing? Are you obsessed with that type of stuff? Do you follow the global economy and currencies and exchange rates? Like, is that what you love? Like, if you love that stuff, then sure, like create the channel on finance. But if you're just creating the channel on finance because you love the money that's in money, then that's going to fail. It's 100% going to fail. I appreciate your honesty about this. Yeah, no problem, dude. Do you make YouTube videos? Just curious. I don't know, like that's just my perspective on the whole YouTube stuff. Because trust me, like I still have to this day, I have so many days where I doubt myself. I'm like, why do I do this stream? Like even right now, let's get real right now. I'm streaming right now, and there's me and you facing fears, right? And Batiste was here and he had to go, right? So I'm streaming, and there's like no one else here, right? Is this worth my time doing on a Saturday afternoon when I could be out, doing something, having fun with my friends, or doing something with my wife, or going shopping, or watching Netflix, right? Or playing basketball. Like there's so many things I could be doing with this time. But I am streaming because I love streaming. This is something I love to do. It makes me happy. Like this is a genuine smile on my face. Like I love this stuff. I love to just, sit here and kind of think about ideas and topics and get them out of my head. And every once in a while, if one of you guys show up and has a question, then, great. Like I can kind of drag the conversation down a different tangent and think about something else. And that's what I love, right? I love just thinking about stuff. I love ideas. I love like the intellectual dance that conversation provides. It's stimulating for me. It's a lot of fun. I get enjoyment out of this. But if I were to look at streaming from a business point of view, like what am I doing? Like, I'm just wasting my time streaming to nobody. Like why would you do that? Like why would you stream to nobody? You're just talking to yourself. So like from a practical point of view, it looks stupid, right? But I feel like you need to separate the personal from the business. Man, I'm trying, but at the same time, I don't. Okay, so you don't have a channel? I have no problem doing the filming, but the editing kills me because I really don't enjoy it. But at the same time, maybe I'm just brainwashing myself into not liking it. That's interesting. Okay, so I've actually talked to some people about this before. Um, also, I just subscribed. Hold on. Also, I just subscribed to you a few days ago because of your heroic dose video, and I'm really glad I did because this is really valuable to me right now. Oh, you found the mushrooms, bro. The mushrooms. um, yeah, I sat on that video for over a year. Like I had the Word document of my trip report for over a year. I sat on that video and I was like, I don't know what it was, but I just wasn't ready to share that story yet. I like mushrooms are something that I take really seriously and they're very introspective. I find them very beneficial. And I feel like that video is doing like crazy well right now. I think it's because of the time and effort I put into it. But I'm glad that's how you found me. We are Mushroom Bros, just so you know. Hey, man, I love it. I love it. A fellow Mushroom brother. So you know far too well what those experiences are like, but very beneficial too. Okay, so let's get back into the YouTube part. So I know a couple people who are in your identical situation where they either love YouTube or they love to make videos, but they have no interest in Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro or any of these stupid editing softwares, right? Like I know a lot of people that are like that. They don't, and also like time. Like editing videos is so tedious and it's so time consuming. But one thing you can do is, especially with YouTube Shorts, it's like YouTube is pushing YouTube Shorts so much right now. Like, say if you want to make videos about something, like again, I don't know if you have a niche or if it's like maybe you talking, but whatever topic you want to make videos about, if you're okay with just taking your phone and like making like some YouTube Shorts like that are less than 60 seconds, these don't require any editing. You can just record it on your phone, like add the music, maybe add captions or whatever. Maybe do like very, very minimal editing. And YouTube Shorts are so popular right now. Like YouTube is pushing them on us creators like so hard. Like there's so many updates with YouTube Shorts. They're just like pushing it down our throats. YouTube wants shorts, 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 shorts. They want short form content. They want to compete with TikTok. They want to take those people off the TikTok platform and bring them to YouTube. Like they're pushing shorts so hard. And one of my best friends from elementary school, he's a dad, he has 3 kids, he's a professional, he's like a very busy guy, and he doesn't have time to edit videos, but he loves electric unicycles, like those, I don't know what you call them, like you just stand on them and they just go, whatever, right? So I'm doing a bad job at explaining, but I told him like you want to make YouTube videos, you obviously love these EUCs, these electric unicycles, just make some shorts. There's no editing required, and then just do it, right? And that's how you can sort of get your foot into the YouTube game without any editing. Just like start off with the shorts. It's so easy. And now he posts like 1 or 2 every week, sometimes 3, of just stuff that he loves. And what's crazy is like shorts, like sometimes shorts just take off and they just blow up your channel. Like I've seen channels blow up to like millions of subscribers just with shorts. Like you don't have to do this long form content that I do. You don't have to do these like well edited introspective videos, that are like 8 to 10 minutes long, that have like a storyline. Like you don't have to do that anymore. Like you don't have to be like this amazing video editor to be a content creator. You can just do YouTube Shorts, right? And I think that people get caught up in this perfectionism where they want to make a YouTube channel, but they're not good enough at editing, or they don't have a good enough camera, or they don't have a good enough like microphone or lighting or any of these like type of stuff that holds them back. But the most important part is just the content. The editing is whatever. Like I've seen videos that are like in 720p, like shitty quality. But if like the idea is amazing, and it's coming from a genuine point of view and it's coming from a place of love, it could do well, right? the camera and all that stuff is irrelevant. Like, and this may seem kind of hypocritical because like, look at all this setup that I have, right? But it's because I love videography. Like I would have all this camera gear like outside of YouTube, right? Like when I was like doing weddings or working at gigs, for example, like I love all the video editing gear, right? So like don't let gear hold you back. So like if you really want to make a channel, like just start off with shorts. Like start off with shorts. It's so easy. Like it's so simple. You can just record with your phone, post it, and bam, you're done. And what's cool is for shorts, shorter is better. Even though they say like there's a 1 minute time limit, the best shorts are like 15 seconds, like 20 seconds max. Like you want to have like shorts that are really short. Like they're named shorts for a reason. YouTube wants the videos to be short and to get to the point. And so, yeah, I think if you want to start a channel without any editing, start off with shorts. And you never know, just do what's fun, do what's enjoyable, and then see what happens. Oh, Forrest! Forrest made it. Hey, and Swen. Sorry guys, I was going on a long rant. I didn't see you in the chat. Hey Forrest, how you doing? What's going on, Swen? Glad to have you guys stop by. So me and our buddy here, Face and Fear is my mushroom brother. We're talking about the struggles with YouTube and the struggles with creating content. I'm sure you can relate to this one. Just there's so many barriers, to making YouTube videos. Like it's so hard. It's so hard, and it's punishing too. Because like, I think another thing that's really tough for creators is like, you could put, like, say on the flip side, you could be me, and you could make that mushroom video, for example. Like that took me forever to edit. Like it took me so long to edit that one video. You can tell by the storyline with the captions, with all like the different types of clips that I put in and B-roll and editing. That took me hours, over 40 hours to edit that video, right? And it was like a story that I had for a year that I sat on, right? So this tons of time went into this video. You could post it and you could just have one or two people leave some shitty comments and making fun of you. And then you're going to start to second guess yourself. Like, why did I spend all this time and people are hating on me? Like, that's another struggle with YouTube, is that you could have 99 positive comments that lift you up, but that one negative comment can burn the castle down. And that's another thing that I feel like will cause a lot of creators to quit. Like there's so many mental health issues that comes with being on social media. Like it's so difficult. Like it's crazy. It's so crazy. Like just being a content creator, like the self-doubt, the anxieties, the hate that you go through, right? Like I'm fortunate enough, like I have tons of great feedback from you guys. But then every once in a while I get someone that's just like straight up hating on me. But I'm lucky to be old enough in my life where, those type of negative comments don't really affect me that much, right? Because I'm, a lot older in life, right? So I have thicker skin because I've gone through so much bullshit and nonsense growing up. But if this was like 19-year-old Derek, who was insecure and wasn't as experienced in the world, one or two hateful comments would destroy my self-confidence. It would kill me, right? It would probably cause me to quit my channel, right? And so, again, like the whole mental scope concept of being a content creator, it's a lot. Like it's a lot, dude. It's a lot. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to go through. Like even for a small channel. Like I can't even imagine what this is like at scale. Like imagine if during this stream we had a ton of like 100 people in this, 1,000. Like how would you deal with that? I don't know. Hello, Swen. Thank you, mate. Yeah, no problem, dude. I'm finally home, laying here like a fish. Like a fish. What'd you do today, Forrest? Mm-mm-mm. I'm assuming. Oh yeah, your Saturday is it's like dinner time for you right now, right? Editing a video, so might as well hop on here. Uh, hey Forrest, how you people doing? Hey Swen, all right, let's go edit that video, bro. Oh, I have a question. Is it worth buying a new phone just for the camera quality? I found out I like recording myself for the videos and upgrading the quality would bring some benefits. Hmm. Okay, so good question, Swen. If if I like say for example, if I were to start YouTube today, I feel like you don't even need any of this stuff. Like look at this. This is my normal camera, right? My tripod, the flip up screen, like all this gear, right? This is what I use now. But if I were to restart a brand new channel today, all you need is this. This is all you need. Like the camera on phones now are amazing. And even like for client work, like I went with my friend to the Detroit Tigers, which is a baseball team for Major League Baseball. And we were making TikTok videos for them. And we brought our camera gear, but we didn't even use it because they just wanted vertical content. So we just used like our Samsung phone. Like that's all you need, even for like a professional level shoot for a Major League Baseball team. Didn't use cameras, just smartphone. So when you say if you're thinking about buying a new phone to upgrade your camera quality, I definitely think that's worth it. Now, I think the thing you have to ask yourself is what is the range? Like what's the proportion? Like how much money are you spending in terms of like upgrading your camera? Are you going from like an iPhone 6 to a 10? Or are you going from like a 9 to a 10? Like how big of an upgrade are we talking about here? Right? And also for how much money? That's also important too, right? But I definitely think that if you do want to spend money on some part of gear for your YouTube channel, the phone is like the best thing. Because phones are they're just so good, and all this other camera stuff that I use, like even here, this is my third camera, right? This is my backup to my backup camera. This is like a $900 camera. Do I even use this? I use this like to take pictures of my kids, my daughter. That's what it is now. It's like a glorified family photo camera now. It's useless. So I guess Swen, just gauge the price, right? And like how good quality are we talking here? Like if we're talking about like Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra quality, like that's a camera that we use to shoot for Major League Baseball, right? Like amazing quality. Like those type of cameras are so dope. So I guess yeah, you'll have to weigh out your options, right? How much money are you spending, and is it like that big of an upgrade for you, right? Like is it gonna like cost all your money? You know, maybe that might not be worth it, right? Is it maybe like half of the money you have, or like it all depends, right? It all depends on your situation. So I think if you have, let's say, like an excess amount of money you've saved that you want to put towards a better phone, I think that's definitely worth it. 1900, yeah, so 7 o'clock. Toothless? Toothless? The dragon? Wait, is there something on my phone? This? Wait, what's toothless? No, Tiffany put a sticker on my back of my phone. I don't know what that is. Is that what you're referring to? Sorry, Forrest. You lost me. Oh, my wallpaper. Oh, this. Is that toothless? I don't know, is it? That, right? I don't know. I've had this wallpaper forever. I don't know if it is a dragon. I think I just randomly found it. I wish it was toothless. That's How to Train a Dragon, right? I love that movie. It was so good. I think there was a second one too, but I only watched like half of it. Can't remember. The dragon, I use it too, but no colors. Oh, oh, Forrest, you ready for Game of Thrones? Or not Game of Thrones. What do you call it? House of the Dragon. What did you think of last week's episode with the new actors? I got used to Rhaenyra, the new actor for Rhaenyra, really quickly, but the new girl for Alicent, it still seems off to me. I don't know why. Like I still was like, is that Alicent? It feels weird. But I like instantly got used to Rhaenyra. I do too, and there's like 5 and a show. Oh man, it's a lot. But yeah, I can't wait for the tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's episode 6. Mm-mm-mm. To be honest, I just need a tripod for my phone. Oh, dude, you don't have a tripod? Yeah, definitely get a tripod. Been using bottles, bricks, and walls just to angle my phone on. Dude, you're an OG, Swen. That's that's dedication, bro. Um, yeah, just get like you can get like a cheap. Where do you live, Swen? There's like you just get like a cheap one from Amazon. I can't remember. I think you live somewhere in Europe, right? Have you told me before? I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. I think you told me before. But yeah, you could get like a super cheap tripod for your phone, like off Amazon or like Alibaba or whatever. I highly recommend getting that. Yeah, you need a tripod, especially if you're making videos. But man, balancing your phone on bottles and bricks, that's tough. I know her from Bates Motel. I'm used to that actress, Olivia something. Oh, Bates Motel, Olivia. Mm-mm-mm. Never watched Bates Motel. Is this like a horror movie or something? Oh, it's a thriller. Oh, it's a TV series. Oh, it's a 5-season TV series. Psychological horror. Oh man. Mm-mm-mm. What was that really popular TV show that was sort of like horror? Oh, American Horror Story. Is that still going on? American Horror Story. I used to watch that. 10 seasons. Dang. Is it still going? Oh, it is. That's hilarious. Wow. This month is season 11 of American Horror Story. Holy. That's funny. Season 9 was 1984. What is up with 1984 in that year? Like, that's one of my favorite books by George Orwell, 1984. And then that was the year I was born. Fun fact. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, Croatia. Oh, okay. Yo, I was rooting for Croatia in the World Cup. Was it the last one? Yeah, it's a funny story. My dentist is who I'm good friends with that I've known for like over 30 years is Croatian. And whenever I think it was the last World Cup and Croatia was going deep, we were like so excited because I was rooting for Croatia, and I was like, oh, and I was like, he was so hyped up. And then when they lost, it was so sad. I was like, no. And it's kind of cool because before I moved to this house that I'm in now, the previous one, there was like this huge population of Croatian people that lived near me. They had their own little, like, I don't know what you would call it, like this like subdivision within the city where they had their own kind of like park and community. And when the World Cup was going on, there's all these people driving around with the Croatian flag and honking everywhere. It was so cool. Like I had no idea that like so many people from Croatia live in Canada. It was super cool. I need one so I can film me and Caramel, your dog, doing silly things. Caramel. Yeah, I like your dog, Forrest. How old's your dog? Tina's dog is getting pretty old these days. She's like pushing 18 years now, which is that's super old for a dog, right? 18. And her health is like kind of getting a little rough, which is sort of sad to see, but that's life, right? I like the name though, Caramel. I was supposed to go in Croatia in 2020, but 2020. Oh man, the stupid lockdown stuff, right? Wait, Croatia, that's not far from Kosovo, right? That'd be like that wouldn't be that far of a trip. Or would it? Mm-mm. So, Kosovo, there's Montenegro to the west, and then Bosnia and Herzegovina, and then Croatia. See, I find Europe is super fascinating because you guys have so many countries like all interconnected with one another. Now, you can visit so many countries in such a small proximity. Whereas for me, like I can go to the US and like that's it. There's like nothing. I guess I could go to like Mexico or Cuba or something if I were to like fly, but like I don't have that different type of culture in countries that are close by that like Europe has. So I find Europe very interesting. Um 6. Oh, okay, so 6 years old. That's a good age. Man, I love dogs. I've always been a dog person. My brother has cats, but I've always yeah, I love dogs. I miss my dog. Sucks. I used to have I had a Yorkie, a Yorkshire Terrier, and his name was Jumper because whenever he had to poo, he'd always be like jumping around. Named him Jumper. So funny. Yeah, and poor guy ran away and got lost, and I never found him again. So sad. Yeah, it's tough, and I never got a dog again after that. I was like heartbroken. Due to low salaries here, many people leave to other countries like Ireland and Germany for better opportunities. But Croatia is so beautiful and really pleasant to the eye. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think that's what my dentist did. He left Croatia to study, obviously, dentistry here in university. Became a dentist, opened his own business, but he swears by Croatia. He loves the country, and I think he always goes back at least once a year. He travels back home. I have no idea what part of Croatia he lives in or he came from, but he loves it. Like he genuinely loves it. Mm. But yeah, that's tough though. Like due to low salaries, it's like, yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. It's like a lot of people, you want to leave to go to a better place. Like that's what happened to my dad. Like my father is from Europe. Like my dad, he grew up in Austria with like a Austrian Italian family background, right? And he left Austria for better opportunities, right? To get like a better job, start a career, which is crazy because he came to Canada in search of that without knowing how to speak English, which is wild. I'm like, dude, how do you how do you go to a different country where you don't speak the native language when you're like 16 in order to start a career? Like, how is that a thing? That seems like so insurmountable of like the amount of struggles you would have to overcome. Like that just seems so difficult, right? So I don't know, but I get it. You have 3 cats, Forrest? Holy. 3 cats that I feed every day have me. I name them Ginger, Pudding, and Moma. I like that. Ginger and Pudding. What's Moma? Moma? Or like Mama? Moma. Ginger and Pudding. That's funny. They meow, call me every day like Romeo. Oh man. That's hilarious. I'm thinking of leaving too. Oh, really? Where you want to move to, Forrest? Where would you go? If you could go anywhere. That's so interesting. I've actually thought about, I think twice, where I really considered, not twice, one time for sure, I definitely really considered about leaving Canada. I always wanted to live in the US to work there. That was when I was like a lot younger, but just last night I heard kittens, so I don't know. Oh, Germany. Oh, what do you call it? Krankenwagen? Schmetterling? Germany. You know, it's funny. My cousin from Austria, she just came a couple weeks ago to Canada to come visit, and like I can't remember. She was like talking like German with my dad, and then he was asking me like, "What's that video? Like, do you remember that video where like this dude is acting out all these accents, and then he has like the really aggressive accent for German when it comes to butterfly?" And I was like, "Oh, Schmetterling and Krankenwagen. I know exactly what video you're talking about." So my dad actually emailed that to me like last week. He wanted to watch that video because I guess him and my cousin, I guess they were speaking German and they were talking about it. And so I watched it again. I was laughing so hard. The German language is so overly aggressive. Like it like sounds ridiculous. But it wouldn't be so different for you. Yeah, see, Canada to US, it's like a seamless transition, right? It's like almost the same thing. The only other country where I thought of moving to where it would be difficult was Japan. I know some Japanese words, like I don't know any sentences, but I know like generally a bunch of words, you know, just because of my mom. But like being able to speak to people, like there's no way. Like that's probably the most like far off thing that I thought of. And it was only because like when I went to Japan, I loved it so much. I was like, man, I could live here. This place is awesome. Now I find it easy to understand. I don't know, similar languages are easy to learn for me. Yeah, isn't it also like if you're bilingual, then isn't it easier for you to like learn other languages too? Or something like that? I feel like if you know more than one language, then you're really smart at like adapting to newer ones. Like say if, for example, me who only speaks one language, like say if I were to learn a second language and another person would try to learn that same language but they're bilingual or trilingual, they would like pick it up a lot faster than I would. I always hear about stuff like that. I always say Germans and Japanese people are my kind of people. Oh, that's pretty much me. That's pretty much me, Forrest. You know it. Yeah, Japan's super cool. That's one country that really blew me away, man. So like different in like every way possible. Like it's hard to explain. I don't know, something about Japanese culture. I found it so enjoyable, and it's like it's so safe. Like everything in Japan is like safe. There was like no crime. I was never like worried about walking anywhere like at 3 in the morning, like looking for the hotel or Airbnb that I was staying at. Like there was like nothing like that. I mean it. I mean their culture and work ethic is what I admire. Yeah, there's like a certain type of discipline and work ethics that come from those cultures too. It's sort of like I find that a lot of Europeans have this type of work ethic or belief, and I really notice it here in Canada. Like in Canada, like a lot of like European people that have immigrated here, I've really noticed that like that dedication to work hard. And it's obviously because it's sort of like that immigrant mentality when you come here with like nothing, and the only way you can get anywhere is like you got to put in the work, you got to work hard. So there's like that discipline and work ethic that a lot of those cultures have. And Japan is like very similar. Japan is like weirdly obsessive to the point where like they're striving for perfection. That's like really prevalent in Japanese culture. In Japanese culture, there's always like this idea where whatever you do it to your utmost best at all times possible. Like whatever you decide to do, you do it to as close to perfection as you can. And this is why you see things like Japanese built items or anything like created in Japan, or even like the food. There's such a high degree of attention to detail. And it's sort of like just part of the culture. And it's very interesting. It's a very interesting thing to see. So polite too. Yeah, it's like super polite. And here I am hating my own peeps. Oh no. Oh no. That's funny. Yeah, Japan is weirdly polite though. I remember I remember taking a taxi somewhere like like a really late, like after landing in the airport, and we were just trying to get to our Airbnb. And I remember like the taxi driver was like awesome, you know, like carried all our bags, and like the passenger door like opens automatically. It was very strange. Um, got us to our place, no problem. And then like tried to tip him, but then I forgot that like tipping um, is not a thing in Japanese culture. It's not a thing. And the guy like he refused. He would not take my money, and he was like so overly polite about it. He's like bowing, and like thanking me, and like, but he like wouldn't accept it. And even just like going to a 7-Eleven, like and just buying like food at 7-Eleven in Japan is legit good, which is super strange because here in North America 7-Eleven is like garbage. It's like garbage food. It's like hot dogs that are spinning on those metal bars full of grease under a light that heats it up. It's like ugh. But in Japan, like you can get legit onigiri, those seaweed rice triangles that have like salmon in the middle or whatever. Oh, so good. You can get like all these like different types of drinks and black beans, like just such good food at like a 7-Eleven, which is so strange. And even just buying stuff there, like the staff is like super polite. They put everything in a bag for you. They bow to you. It's like super polite culture. But it's the same in your own country too. You work so hard, yet you get nothing for that. No wonder everyone is leaving. Yeah, it's I know what you mean. Yeah, it's tough, right? It's tough. Like everyone is always looking for like greener pastures, opportunities, right? Better opportunities in life, especially as like a parent too, right? Like if you have kids, you always want to like um, give your children a city to live in that gives them the best opportunities for life. Like a big part of this house that I just bought that I'm in right now, it was close to the school where Tiffany and Lincoln will hopefully learn French. It's like they call it like a French immersion school. So like the whole school, everything is done in French. Like attendance is in French, writing is in French, lessons are in French, everything is French. There's no English at all. And so it's like something that I think is important, right? Like language, like learning another language. I think it's like a great skill to have, especially like in Canada, French is our second language, right? So yeah, it's like part of the reason why it's like environment, right? Better opportunities. You know, what's around you, right? What job opportunities are what can you achieve? I mean, as a career or financially, like these are all very important things. Like, is the neighborhood safe to raise your kids in? Are there good schools? Are there like parks or playgrounds? Like, are there jobs? Like, tons of things to consider when it comes to like what country or what city or what town that you would want to raise a family in, right? This is something that I think about a lot now. Oh my god, French is so schmetterlingy. uh, what else was in that video? Krankenwagen was ambulance, right? Was it? Was Krankenwagen ambulance? I can't remember. There were some other good ones. Oh, there was like something that said like Kuli Schreiber. It's like, what is that? I can't get over German. German just makes me laugh. German's so funny. I think it's just so funny because of how aggressive it is. It's hilarious. The way you say wagon is killing me, is it? I'm probably saying it the wrong way, right? Krankenwagen? I don't know. It's a pen? A pen? Do I have to watch that video now? Actually, no. If I watch that video, it's gonna come through my headphones. Then it's probably going to it's probably gonna play on the stream. Okay, maybe I'll have to watch it later. Yeah, I'll watch it later. Oh yeah, Forrest, can you notice any improvements in the quality of the stream? Does it look better? Is it lagging? My new internet should be able to support this higher quality, so I really wanted to try it out. So the picture quality, it should be able to go to 1440p, and it should be a lot better definition than the previous streams. Or even anyone that's watching like the replay of this stream, if this if the quality is better, please let me know. This was like my first stream trying in 1440p. Also, if it lags, and I should go back to 1080, let me know as well. From my end though, it seems everything seems all right. But yeah, it's like again, like kind of always improving, right? Is something that I'm looking at. I noticed that I've been kind of comfortable, a little bit too comfortable with the live streams where I didn't really put much effort into improving the streams at all. Like I made like my layout and like that was it. I never really did anything other than that. So just this past week, I sort of reworked the layout, tried to improve the quality. I got a different light to light the other side of my face. Just like overall like ways to improve the stream. I always wanted to get better, like over time. Yes, your skin looks more alive. I don't know how to tell you what I mean. It wasn't that real life looking before. Okay, that's good. So definitely, the picture quality and the lighting helped for sure. Because I noticed before, like this side of my face would be all like full of shadows. I didn't have like enough lights for where I sit from my stream, and then also like the quality was kind of poor. Okay, so that's good. What on earth is that? And why does that E have 2 dots on top of it? Could you, I can't. There's no way I can say that. What is that? Is that German? Kjartisia, yeah, I don't know. LOL. Oh, I can Google Translate that, can't I? Kjartisia? Kjartisia? Kajardisia. How do you Google Translate? Google Translate. Enter text. Detect language. Albanian? That's Albanian? English converted to clarity is higher. That was me telling you what I mean in Albanian. Don't bother, it's always wrong. Oh, is it really? So Google Translate sucks? Yeah, because that it says it's Albanian converted to clarity is higher in English. Huh. That's funny. Okay, but that's good though. At least the stream quality is a lot better. That's what I was hoping for with this stream. Yes, that's right. Yeah, you know what's it's funny is when I was in Japan, we used Google Translate for like everything. So if Google Translate is wrong, then like what was I doing? Oh, it's terrible. Oh, most of the time it's wrong. Well, that sucks. I thought like Google Translate was good. It's like 2022 now. I thought it like came a long way, but I guess not. Or maybe it's also like the dialect and like the context kind of doesn't really translate well, right? Like there's like subtle meanings in languages that are so different than like English. See, I wish I knew. This is a problem when you only speak one language. Like you don't notice like the nuances or like the discrepancies in different languages because I have no idea how to speak other languages. The only thing that I know is like from English to French. Like in French, the subject matter always comes first rather than the description. So like where we would say like the red car, it would be like the car is red type of thing. Like you talk about the subject first and then the description later, which makes sense. Like why would you describe something first, the red, and then talk about the actual subject later, which is the most important part, right? So gotta bounce now. See you people next time. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Swan. Get that tripod, bro. Get that tripod for your camera, and then eventually save up for a phone, and you'll be good to go. Then you won't have to balance your phone on bricks anymore. Oh man, that's so crazy. But I guess you got to make do with what you have, right? The other day, a German lady that walks her dog stopped to talk to me. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, I can have emojis here. Let's see. How do I get rid of this? Okay, the other day a German lady that walks her dog stopped to talk to me, but she doesn't know I know German, so I was trying to speak English to her while thinking in German. Wow, what? Yo, that's crazy. That's such a interesting interaction. I couldn't talk at all. All three languages just crashed in my mind. Wow, that's so cool. Wait, so did she speak German to you? Like, how does that work? Like, if she was speaking German to you, in your mind, you could understand the German, but then you were translating the German into English to speak English back to her? Oh my gosh, that's like how does your brain compute all those things? Like when someone says to me like walking the dog, like all I hear in my mind English is walking the dog, and that's it. There is no confusion because there is no adaptation of other languages to translate, right? But is it like but I wonder like if someone tells you walking the dog in English, that in your mind do you hear that in Albanian and German and English too? Like that's wild. No, it's not cool. I'm trying to tell you sometimes. Is it cool? Oh, she spoke English. Oh, but you knew she was German. Oh, okay. I see. I see. Wow, that's so crazy. She spoke English, but I know she is German, so mine switches to German. Oh, okay. I see. That's so interesting. Dang. See, that's something that I could never comprehend. Like I have no idea like like that dynamic that's going on there. It's like two people that know different languages having a conversation. See, a part of me sort of wishes that I did know a second language. And it's weird because I studied French like all through school, all the way up until I was like 14. But then like when I turned 15, you have the option to quit French. And so I just like quit it on the spot because I hated it. And then that was like what, like 22 years ago? So like I don't know anything in French anymore. Like it's all gone. Like all of it. I remember before I could like write sentences. Then now there's nothing. It's just like evaporated from my mind. Like all that knowledge is gone. Just ask your papa. Yeah, he told me something interesting once though, because he doesn't speak German ever anymore. He's sort of like slowly losing it. Not losing it, but like um there's times in like the conversation, I guess like the type of terminology or like lingo he uses, it's sort of like outdated, or it's like the type of German that his brothers and sisters speak to him when they do phone him. It's sort of like different. So he told me he's slowly losing some aspects of it because like he doesn't speak German to anybody here. Like he just speaks English all the time, right? And I think maybe once or twice a year, like maybe one of his brothers or sisters will phone him and they'll like speak German on the phone. Like maybe for like a birthday or like Christmas, for example, they'll call each other, you know, like say happy birthday and then they'll like catch up in German. But like if the other 364 days of the year you're only using English, like it's almost like he's because he doesn't use the language on a regular basis or practice it, it's slowly waning over time. I had Latin for 1 year and I wish I had it forever. Oh, wow, Latin. I forgot everything. I'd like to be able to talk to ghosts. What? Oh, that that completely caught me off guard. That was the last thing I thought you would say. I'd like to be able to talk to ghosts. Wow, Latin. Really? That's interesting. Now that's like an ancient language, right? I think over here you could study Latin in like university, I think. But that it has to be like a voluntary course that you would take. Other than that, I don't know where else you could learn Latin. I guess you could online for sure, right? You could definitely learn Latin online somewhere, maybe. But yeah, that's like a dying language, right? Like, where did Latin originate from? Like, let's see, Latin was a classical language belonging to the Italic branch of the Indo-European languages. Huh. Latin was originally a dialect spoken in the Lower Tibera era, around present-day Rome. But through the power of the Roman Republic, it became the dominant language in the Italian region and subsequently throughout the Roman Empire. Oh, wow, that's interesting. What a wow, there's like maps. Year 117. All these countries spoke Latin. All through Egypt and Cyprus and oh my gosh. Italy, Macedonia, Armenia. Huh. Wow, what a wild world. That's 2,000 years ago. How strange. So interesting. History is so interesting. Wow, Latin looks crazy. There's like Latin writing on these like tablets. Oh, it looks so bizarre. Cool stuff. I don't mean ghost. No. No one speaks Latin anymore unless you're a doctor and you write it. Oh. Didn't know that. I don't mean ghosts. I guess I'm just gullible. Yeah, it's like a dead language, right? So interesting, though. Like, I wonder if one day, with all this like Elon Musk Neuralink stuff, if like you could get a brain implant and then you could speak or understand any language spoken. Like, I wonder if that would be. Actually, no, it probably wouldn't work because you would need Google Translate to like get their shit together, or else those technologies, like if the language translation technology doesn't work, then how could the Neuralink implant work? Man, that stuff is so crazy. I wonder if we're all going to be alive during that time. Like, I wonder, how long is that going to take? Like, how long will it take for Neuralink to become mainstream? And everyone has like brain implants or something, and we can all speak like different languages to each other. That'd be super cool. There's always a thing or two you learn from me, Grasshopper. Yeah. Hey, that's true. That's true. See, this is why I like this kind of stuff. Like these are things that these are ideas or concepts I would never think about, right? Unless you told me. This is why I love having I love doing the stream, and also like getting back to like that topic of sort of like why I do the stream, and I do it because it's fun. Like this is so much fun, just to be able to talk about random things or ideas, that's going on to people all across the world, right? Super cool, super cool. Changing my name to Wise Old Lady. Hey, I'm older than you, Forrest. You're a wise young lady. I'm your senior, right? Oh, hashtag cringe. Oh, bro. Cringe. That's funny. That's hilarious. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, are you seriously thinking about moving to Germany though? That'd be super interesting. It'd have to be like have to probably find like what, like a career, job, housing. Like how does like immigrating to a country? Like I'm sure you'd have to apply for like some type of like visa or permit or working visa or something. You probably would have to find a place to live and a job. Like how does that work? I'm 89. Oh yeah, yeah, 1989. So I'm 5 years older than you, Forrest. That's a good year. Tina's 88. So you're 1 year younger than Tina. Alright, Mooski. Fun fact: 99% of gamblers quit right after they hit it big. Hey, bro, there's like dudes didn't like your comment. I saw that comment on was it the gambling video? That was funny. I recognize that comment. What's up, bro? Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, the gambling. My videos on gambling addiction have been doing really well lately. I've received a lot of feedback from people that keep making them. So I don't know if you guys, if you're watching this and you're here for the non-gambling videos. Just so you know, like I'll probably have a couple more coming in the future. Gambling stories, lots of interesting gambling stories coming up. Yes, and those things take forever, and I haven't started anything. Oh, okay, so you haven't even started the application process yet, Forrest. I know for like Canada, I have friends that immigrated here from the Philippines, and they told me it takes 6 years on average from like the start of the application process to getting accepted and like immigrating into Canada. It's like a 6 year process. Obviously, Germany it'd be way different, but I see what you mean. How they take forever. Well, if you're serious about it, then you better start soon, right? I'm good, bro. How are you? Good, man. Just chilling out on a Saturday. Doing the live streams. Thanks for stopping by, dude. It's always just love talking to whoever shows up and just like sharing ideas. It's like something fun that I do every other week or so. But yeah, glad you enjoy the gambling videos. I got so many wild stories from like casinos and poker games and like backroom poker games and like degenerates and oh my gosh. Like I had such a crazy life in like my early 20s that I never really thought it would be interesting. Like I never thought this type of stuff would be good for like a YouTube video. But for some reason someone's like, "Hey man, you should like make a video about like some of your poker stories from like back in the day." I'm like, "Really? No one's really going to care about that." Like poker's like kind of dying, right? Not really much people play poker anymore. You don't really hear too much about it. Like sports gambling, sports betting is like not high, like on the rise, like super popular now. Especially now you can just like place a bet from your phone. But yeah, I guess in the future, Mooski, we'll see a couple more gambling videos. I feel bad when I lose 10 euros. I don't know how you do it. Oh, bro, 10 euros? Bro, I've lost 10,000 in the day before. No, more than 10,000. What's the most money I've ever lost in a day? See right there, that's probably a video. What's the most amount of money I've lost in a single day gambling? That's probably a good video to make. And that's definitely another crazy story because the number is in the 5 figures for sure. Yes, definitely over 10,000, I think. which is very stressful. 7 hells. Yeah, it's you know it's kind of tough because this type of thing people like to leave in the past, and they don't like to talk about, right? Like I don't think anyone likes to talk about a time in their life when they were like a degenerate, or when they were addicted to something, or when they were like losing money, or like having problems. Like I don't know of anyone that likes to talk about that type of stuff, but I think it is also kind of interesting and can be educating in one way or another, because they're, like I said, like I wouldn't even know where to start with this whole story of like the career of like how long was I a gambler for? As a career, 9 years, right? 18 to 27. Yeah, that's 9 years, right? Like craziness. Like crazy lifestyle for 9 years. Like going to bed at 6 a.m. when the sun comes up, waking up at 2 p.m. and then going to the casino from like, I don't know, 4 p.m. all night. Like that type of lifestyle. Craziness. Yeah, I have to I don't know. Maybe I'll do some brainstorming tonight and see what would be interesting, because that video that I released a couple of days ago about that orange juice guy, like that is, I'm sure this doesn't need explaining, but it was a real story. Like this was a real story of a guy that I saw every single day that would have an epileptic seizure at the table. Like he would like vomit on himself. You know, sometimes when you have a seizure, you like shake and sometimes you vomit. This dude would have a seizure at the poker table, and then the manager or whatever pit boss would come over, give him orange juice, and he would drink it and he would keep playing. And this happened all the time. And this is like a real thing that happened. Like I've seen people die before, like at a casino winning a jackpot and dying, and they had to call an ambulance and call 911. Like crazy stuff, crazy things. I've seen like grown men hit a jackpot, like win it big, like life-changing money, and then gamble it on something else and lose it all and cry. They'd be in shambles and tears on the floor. Like I've seen crazy stuff. Like crazy drunks too, like blackout drunks, like gambling like their life savings away. Like, oh my gosh. Like the amount of people like that I've come across in my life is insanity. It's insanity. It's like legit insane. And for me to somehow make it out of that lifestyle and out of that world and live a somewhat normal life is like, it's like a miracle. It's basically a miracle, right? Like how I could escape a world like that. But it's it does make for an interesting story. I will admit that. You should save your thoughts for the video. Okay. Maybe I will. I'll probably need to think about like what titles, like what title of a video would be intriguing that people would want to watch. Like, what's the most money I've lost in a day? Would that be interesting? Seeing someone gamble away their life savings, gamble away their house. Like that type of stuff is rough. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, those videos have sort of hit a nerve, I guess you could say, with some people. Like I don't know, is there a lot of YouTubers who talk about gambling addiction? Is that even a thing? I don't know, maybe it's like a small sub niche of people that I can reach and create more content for. I don't know, but we'll see. Because I still want to stay on track with like the general self-improvement narrative that I'm trying to push, right? Because that's also related to gambling. It's like I got out of gambling addiction through self-improvement, right? Through like finding this self-improvement world and, you know, finding these habits and routines to be more disciplined, you know, to become a more introspective person, to become a better person. to become a better Derek, right? This has like changed my life. And that's like the general message that I want to share with people, right? And I don't want to forget about that message that I'm trying to promote. And I think it can sort of cross-pollinate into the gambling world because, self-improvement is definitely something that you can get into if you have some sort of addiction and you want to get out of it. So there's some crossover there that can be related, but I'm still in love with the whole like reading, meditation, cold showers, morning routine. I still love all that type of stuff. I find all of that is like the truly life-changing habits, right? Like self-education, reading books after high school. Like this idea that education ends once you start a job, and that like school is for education, and getting a job is for making money, and then you don't have to learn anymore. Like that's such a mistake, right? I love this idea of self-education even in post-secondary life, even when you have a job, right? Also like health, your habits, eating habits, sleeping habits, right? Being grateful, showing gratitude, being thankful for like what you have, right? So I don't know. It's a lot of things to think about, but I'll do my best to try to make the best videos I can, and we'll go from there. So Daemon Targaryen is single again. Oh man, that was crazy. Spoiler alert. When his wife was like, what is it, Dracarys? When it makes the dragon shoot fire, she's like screaming Dracarys at the dragon, and the dragon, you could see like the sadness almost in his face. Like he's like, "Why are you telling me to burn you?" type of thing, right? Oh, that was rough. At first, I thought like, I don't know. I weirdly thought like she was gonna survive or something, or like the baby would survive. I don't know. I thought like something else would happen instead of just got burned to a crisp. Well, Rhaenyra too. Yeah, that's also interesting. Like I had no idea who that strong guy was. He was like the knight of the city guard or something. Whatever his name was, something strong. But I guess that's her thing. I guess Rhaenyra's thing is like knights in the Kingsguard with brown hair, like Sir Criston Cole, and then now that other dude. But it's so obvious that those kids, they're not kids of the Valyrian guy. It's like so obvious. I felt so sad for the dragon too. Yeah, I was like, oh man. It's like she's telling you to like burn her alive, and the dragon is like conflicted. Like you could see it in its eyes, right? Like I was like, oh man, I feel so bad. Like imagine like you're the dragon, you have to like burn your master. But like she was like screaming for the dragon to do it, right? Yeah, I love I love this show. I love House of the Dragon. It's so good. It's so good. But I wonder though, should I read the book after watching this season? Because I have the book and I started it. But I was wondering like, should I start reading it again now, or is it better to wait until this season ends and then read it? Like I'm not sure what to do now. Because I kind of enjoy how I have no idea what's going on. Like in these episodes of House of the Dragon, I don't know anything. I don't know. I have nothing. I have no clue what's going on. But in Game of Thrones, I had already read the books, so I had a general idea like of what was happening, right? Because in like the middle seasons, Game of Thrones, they were still following the books up until the end, right? So I still had a pretty good idea of what was happening. But in House of the Dragon, it's like all new to me. It's like all fresh. It's all brand new. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Well, it was known it was going to happen since the castle is cursed. The main story will start in season 2. Oh, okay. So the main story will start in season 2. D-Gen crew checking in. Yo, Regal Survivor. What's going on? What's going on, my fellow degenerate? The gambling crew is building. What's going on, bro? How you doing? We're just talking some I keep calling it Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon. We're talking some House of the Dragon right now. I don't know why. I always refer to it as like the Game of Thrones world. I can never get the title right. But yeah, I mentioned earlier some more gambling stories in the works. I don't know when, but I'll have to go through my mind and try to remember what was the craziest things I ever saw, or what were some of the more craziest people that I've met in the gambling world. Very, very interesting world, to say the least. The chaos. Getting ready to start. What? WLRK? What's that? Work? Like a non-degen. First week of actual hard work, and I'm happy for the change. Wait, first week of actual hard work. So the degen, the degen life is over. That's good, bro. Road to the recovery, right? It's tough being in that world. Man, it's almost like you're living life through a haze where everything is like cloudy and gray and you're just like so oblivious to what's going on in the world. And all that you think about is like the next bet. Like that's how I felt for like the longest time. It was like, where's the next bet come from? Where's the next dopamine rush? You know, when's the next game? When's the next point spread? Where's the next pair of dice or deck of cards? Like it's a very strange life to live. When you think about like how the world around you passes by and you don't even care or notice for a second. It's very bizarre way to live. But glad to see you're making a change, dude. It's a wonderful world to be in once you escape that world. The world is beautiful. That's all I can say. House of the Rat, ours is the cheese. Oh, come on. Come on, House of the Rat. Oh, I'm never going to be able to live that down, am I? So if I was a Game of Thrones character, I'd be House of the Rat. House of the Rat. Sounds like a house that Littlefinger would belong to. If you're House of the Rat, all you just do is probably spy on people. You just have a network of spies causing chaos. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Yeah, so I'm excited for tomorrow. I can't wait. So we have what, like 4 or 5 more episodes? 4 more episodes, and then season 1 is done, and so season 2 will be the main story then. I wonder what that will be. See, so if I read the book in between season 1 and 2, then I'm gonna know what the main story is gonna be about, right? But here's the thing, though. I kind of like how I like being in the dark with this show. I sort of enjoy it because it kind of builds up this excitement. I'm like, wow, what's gonna happen next? Like, what's gonna happen this week? It like intrigues me, like not knowing a single thing that's gonna happen beforehand. So maybe I'll keep it that way, though. But I also want to read the book, though. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, design your own sigil. Oh, how about this? Should be House of the Bear Forest. House of the Bear. Does that look like a rat? This would be my house. Right here. House of the Bear. House of the Psychedelic Bear. The bear on mushrooms. That's what that is. I love it. Oh yeah, Tina made this by the way. Super dope, right? I love it. It's my favorite piece of art that I have. It's the best. The Psychedelic Bear. Let me put this over here. I'm a Mormont? Really? Is that what the... That's, what's his name? Jorah? Jorah was a Mormont, right? Yeah, that would be, I wonder if I should change, like, the logo of my podcast. Make it like the Psychedelic Bear. Like, so many of these ideas that I have in my writings and my videos, they've come from the aid of psychedelics. I haven't done this recently, but like especially last year and the year before, like microdosing psychedelics combined with like creative writing was super interesting for me. I don't know. Maybe I should get back to that this year. We'll see. Something about that though, like having my because there's so many like underlying meanings there, right? The psychedelic bear, like bear meaning like an animal that I enjoy and that I like. Bear as in bear in my last name, Bearsy, and then the psychedelics, which is something that I believe in the form of like medication, therapy, supplementation, and its use in aiding my career in writing and being more creative. There's like so many things that tie in together with the psychedelic bear. It's like a very interesting concept. It's like something that I really relate to. Like if you had like a spirit animal, I guess that would be mine. Like the psychedelic bear. Yeah, maybe I should maybe I should change the podcast logo to that. Give it some more meaning. Because my podcast logo right now, I paid some girl from Mexico like $5 or something on Fiverr to like draw a bear with headphones. So that was the logo that I got. It's like that sleeping brown bear with headphones. It was from this artist from Mexico, this girl from Fiverr. She drew it for me. So yes, and the little angry girl. Yes. So original. Yeah. I don't know. Lots to consider. Or maybe I should think about making another psychedelic video. Because this first one that I made, the psychedelic mushroom trip or the heroic dose, like this is one of my best videos I've ever made in terms of how it's performing in the analytics. Like there's just so many things I need to think about and consider. Like what to do moving forward, where to utilize my time, what to work on. What do you guys want to watch, and also what makes me happy as a creator, right? Lots of things I need to think about. Maybe I need to do some more journaling, more introspection is required, and figure out what the next move is. I'd be a Dothraki. My tribe's name means horse settle. Yo, I love the Dothraki. The Dothraki is so dope. It was so crazy because what was that guy? What was his name? Khal Drogo? Was it Drogo? It was Drogo, right? Because that's why she named the dragon Drogon after Drogo. Am I getting that right? Man, I'm so bad with the Game of Thrones names. It's Khal Drogo, right? Oh, I'm not going to bother Googling it. Whatever. I'm just going to assume it is. Yeah, I love that guy. I loved his character. It was so cool. I was sad when he died. Jason Momoa, right? Great actor. Oh, it was? Okay. So I am remembering somewhat correctly. And that's why. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for tomorrow. What's the episode called? House of the Dragon. Let me see. It's episode 6, right? Let me see. Where are we? Oh no, 7. So 6 was last week. Oh, so we only have 4 more then. 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it's going to end on October 23rd. Oh man, so we have 1 more month and then the show is going to be done. Tomorrow's going to be episode is called Driftmark. All right, I'm excited. I'm excited for us. Can't wait for tomorrow. Let me see. Oh, okay, it's past 2 o'clock. Let's let's wrap up this stream. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining for us and keeping the stream interesting. I always love our conversation and our banter. You make the live streams a lot of fun, and I always enjoy talking to you. My sister's name means moon, and I call her, Chic something all the time just to annoy her with that Dothraki line. Oh, that's interesting. Regal, sorry, lost connection. Would love to talk about the gambling in the future. Yeah, no worries, bro. I'm about to wrap up the stream right now. I'll have some more videos, poker related, gambling related in the future. Maybe we'll have a stream where we can talk some more about some interesting gambling stories. Yeah, maybe I'll catch you in the next stream, bro. All right, guys. Regal, Forrest, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for giving me company during this stream. It was a lot of fun. We got to talk about a lot of interesting ideas and concepts. And yeah, I love these streams. They're like therapeutic for me in a way. If you guys want to see more of this stuff, I did release a newsletter this morning, kind of talking about what's therapeutic for me in my writing. If you want to check out the newsletter, it's on my website, derekbearsey.com. You can go to newsletter. You can sign up. It's free, no cost required, and I have all my past newsletters there if you want to read them. Like the stream, it helps me out algorithmically in some way or another, and hopefully we can spread this message of self-improvement to more people. And let's set the date for the next stream, October 15th. We'll do the 15th for the next one, same time Saturday in the afternoon. And that's it. Thanks for everyone that's watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Bye.